everybody and welcome, it's Debo here, and today I bring you a visual guide to Wanderer's Palace Hard Mode. First things first, the dungeon needs to be unlocked. You can unlock it here at 7th Heaven in Mordona. And the quest will take you to Bronze Lake in Upper Lenocia. When in Bronze Lake, don't forget to talk to the NPC from the front of the original Wanderer's Palace, then proceed to the zone line in order to unlock the instance. With the dungeon unlocked, you can enter through the duty finder. Once inside, it becomes readily apparent that the Tomberries are no longer in charge. A group of Molaa Ja have taken over the palace and seek to turn it into an impregnable fortress. The trash pools in the first part of the instance are pretty basic. The first groups in the instance typically consist of melee Molaa Ja and Axebeaks, which breathe paralysis and poison. Unlike original Wanderer's Palace, this version is separated by hard gates that open when all of the mobs have been killed, making speedruns a little bit more difficult this time around. But the trash mobs bear no unique mechanics and are pretty easily dispatched. After defeating the last group of Molaa Ja, the gate opens to the first boss in the instance. Frumious Koheel Ja is not terribly difficult, but does have a few things that you need to keep in mind. Throughout the fight, you will periodically turn to a random party member and shoot a fire projectile at them, dealing a small amount of damage. Koheel will also throw down sacred spears throughout the fight. While these spears are active, they will pulse a ticking debuff that deals fire damage over time and will stack indefinitely until you die or destroy the spears. Have DPS switch to the spears immediately, kill them, and go back to the boss. At about 33%, Koheel will emote and throw down 2 sacred spears. DPS must move to the spears and kill them both quickly. It's better to focus down a single spear instead of splitting the DPS, as both will pulse the fire debuff. And one is always better than 2. With that, Koheel will fall and you can proceed deeper into the dungeon. The next group of trash pools appear around sacred totems. While in the glowing area around these totems, mobs receive a bonus to their damage, as well as a buff that reduces damage they take. It's best to simply pull the mobs outside of the area of these totems and AoE them down. You can ignore the totems, but here we decided to kill them as we didn't know if we needed to or not to advance. After defeating a large number of these totem packs, you will be standing on the doorstep of the second boss. Slithy Zolool Ja is a simple boss, but has a few mechanics that you need to keep in mind in order to not be overwhelmed. Keeping up with the theme from the trash, Slithy will drop sacred totems throughout the fight. The key is to recognize what each of these totems do based on color, so that you do not get yourself killed with debuffs or other terrible things. DPS need to focus on running towards purple totems as they give a damage buff. Red totems reduce the fire resistance of the first person to stand near them. Tank should avoid these especially since it makes his main move, Fire Spit, deal tremendous amounts of damage. Green totems apply a heavy effect, which makes it harder to position and avoid totems. If you watch here, you'll see that I had the fire debuff, and Fire Spit hit me for nearly 6,500 damage. The last totem that needs to be avoided is the teal totem. It will turn whoever is near it into a frog for a small amount of time. The basic gist of this fight is simple. There are almost always two purple totems up, which means DPS should be getting a damage buff at all times, while everyone else in the party avoids all other colored totems. With this in mind, Slithy should fall, and you can make your way deeper into the dungeon. After clearing a few trash packs and freeing a pair of tomberries from their prison, you come across a pump room. This slime will spawn adds periodically as you kill it. Just simply tank everything together and AoE it down. When the slime dies, the poison on the floor disappears, and you can use the pump mechanism to proceed further. After a long run and 2 final trash packs, you find yourself at the final boss. Manxone Molaa Ja Ja is a sufficiently hard-hitting encounter that requires constant movement and repositioning, as well as attentiveness from both your DPS and your healers. The best way to start off this fight is to pull Ja Ja to the rear of the room. This gives you ample space to reposition him throughout the fight, as well as to dodge the large area cleave attack that he has. The cleave attack itself does not do much damage, but will stun and pacify anyone it hits. The main reason for the constant repositioning is Ja Ja will drop sacred totems, which are identical to the trash pulls before the second boss. When he does this, he will also use a move called Rot Gas. Rot Gas will apply a long duration, high damage poison as well as a disease, which will make dodging the cleave that much harder. The next ability to watch out for is Soul Glaze. This will put a doom on a target and deal a small amount of damage. If they are not healed to full, this doom will eventually tick down and instantly kill whoever it is on. Simply keep everyone topped up, similar to the Siren encounter at the end of Pharaoh's Sirius. Ja Ja's next ability is this Perfil Slash. This will apply a debuff to a random target that when it ticks off will explode with rot gas, much like the boss himself. Simply have the person affected by this debuff not stack with everyone. Sometimes instead of dropping a stationary sacred totem, Ja Ja will drop a sacred idol, which will tether to him and give him the buff no matter where he is. DPS need to immediately switch and kill this. Just continue to circle around the room with every rot gas and totem drop. Kill every idol, and eventually Ja Ja will fall. And you will be treated to one of the most entertaining duty complete animations in the game. Thank you all for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again next time.